What's up, everybody? It's Jason from James Reptiles. This is kind of a hard shot to get my rack down here because I'm like a 6 foot tall dude and the rack's so short. But I know a lot of people like myself, they want to get into breeding. They want to start breeding terrestrial geckos like leopards or fattails. And of course now there's subspecies. There's Fuscus, Agrameniu, Montani germanis, I forget how you pronounce that, Fasciolatus. There's a bunch of other ones, Hardwickii. I personally like fattails. I know those have been on the rise. They kind of dipped down. There's a certain woman on Instagram who breeds high-end fattails and sells them for quarters of what they're worth, so the market kind of crashed a little bit the last couple months. Needless to say, I still love them myself. So about half these drawers are filled with fattails, two or three are filled with fattails. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to tell you why they're in the way that they're in, the configuration, and tell you my plans for the next coming year and hopefully thereon after. I'm going to slap them on my table. You won't see my face because I'm too tall for that, unfortunately. Let's say, I don't know, I'll figure something out, but I'll show you my fattails. Alright, hopefully this is good enough for you guys. So what I have here is a 28 quart tub. This is, what, a Sterilite? Yep, Sterilite tub. And let's start out with my labels. So first off, blue is male, and you can see my cresteds, these ones are all green, those are all blue and red. The reason I make green ones is if I'm probably gonna sell them, if it's babies. If I know I'm gonna keep them, I'll reprint them tags blue or red, and if they're on my for sale list, I'll just write out with a Sharpie, you know, confirmed male or confirmed female for whatever the animal happens to be. But you can see I have my one male, and he has his previous tag from Geckos Etc. on here. And he's a patternless whiteout. His hatch date was 7/3/7/13. And he was, the reason I got him really cheap, the reason why is his parent info doesn't make sense. Obviously someone entered the wrong information. It's a male to whiteout het a male. It doesn't make sense. So I got a good deal on him. And I really wanted one without a tail king. Of course, most fat tails have tail kings nowadays, unfortunately. There's just so much inbreeding in the hobby. But I put name in parentheses, morph normal, FT for fat tail, 1901. 19 being the year, the 01 being the number gecko in that year. Lay date, hatch date. That's kind of newer stuff, so not a lot of my animals have that. But in the enclosure, this being the front, this being the back, I have just a random little cork hide. One of these Zilla hides, you can see a gecko right there. I have food dish with calcium, extra calcium vitamin dish, a water dish, another hide, and 2 human hides. And fat tails get a little territorial, so I do put 2 human hides. And I want to start out with this girl. Which one is she? I think she's diamond. I'm certain she's diamond. Now, you can tell she's pretty small to be in here with my breeders, and you can also tell she's missing her tail. That happened like literally within the last 2 days because I fed them and I just didn't check them yesterday. Now, unfortunately, that happens when you're keeping geckos. You know, they drop tails, and especially if you're communally keeping, something like that does happen. It's not the end of the world. Most likely, if your gecko's healthy, it's just not gonna die. Like, she's chunky. She's just growing still, so she's not full size. And especially with females, they're gonna tease each other, and the male's gonna bite the tail and all that. But you might be thinking, wow, she's really small. And yes, compared to I have bigger females in a different tub. This girl, I really like the stripe, by the way. This girl is super orange. I'm almost thinking she's het patternless because the orange with the speckles. I don't know if that could be a het marker. I don't think anyone's ever like proven that or whatnot. But she was, I think, my first gecko I ever produced. She was a little bit of an underbite, just like her dad did. I have since sold the dad. And then this girl also has the speckles, so I'm not really sure. When I bought my original pair, I was told both het Oreo and the male was Posset caramel, and I had nothing to back that up. I just like, cool, yeah, take a couple $100, and I bought these two Fattailds, and so now I have babies, and I'm understanding the genetics more, and I know what I'm doing. And this year, when it comes to breeding season, I'm gonna have a lot more females up to size. So last year, one of my females was throwing all slugs, and I only had one other one. Now I have like 6. So I think we're chilling in that department. So this is Diamond's older sister, Pearl, just by a couple months. You can tell she's a lot bigger. And the reason they're all together is to just kind of get them together and get them used to each other. I don't want them fighting right when breeding season starts. It's more of a stressful period. I want them, you know, the bigger one kind of starts dominance, whatever. They're getting fed twice a week and they're gonna be fine. And I offer each one roaches off the tong, you know, every week. We have mealworms in the bowl. I sprinkle little mealworms everywhere, and then I offer each one mealworms. Real quick, I just want to check. That one almost looks like a boy. Sometimes fat tails are harder to tell. Just because a lot of them have pores for no reason, or bulges, but this is my male. He's a little skinny, and that's just because I don't really have anywhere to put him. If I had an extra tub, he'd be in his own tub all the way. But I'll be selling a couple of leopards at the Sacramento show, and he'll get his own tub, and he'll have enough time before breeding season to really chunk up. He is a patternless whiteout, and I know he's real skinny, and he's not the best looking right now, but he gets really bright orange, and he's very beautiful. I'm waiting for that opportunity to get him alone, and as I'm saying that, I'm gonna clear off the top of my rack and put him in a tub because I just want to see him how beautiful he was again. Let me go grab the other ones real quick. Now, breeding geckos ain't all it's cracked up to be. Of course, there's a lot of expenses before you even start making money, like buy calcium all the time. You have to go to the store and buy mealworms all the time, and I breed a bunch of roaches all the time. And you know, you have to buy hides and coir and paper towels and go in and check them and clean them and all that jazz. And they'll bite you. And this is my original female. I'm pretty sure she's the one that's always throwing slugs. I'll probably try to breed her again this year just in case. But she's got some beautiful like orange marking right up by her face. So I'm not sure if that's what's throwing me these het patternless looking animals. But every year she ends up not doing too good. So as soon as I start to see that, I'll stop pairing the male with her. She'll end up getting really skinny. And this was another one of the first geckos I produced. Another female, and she's just chilling in here waiting for breeding season. And then my other female, who's always been top dog with the first one, is Patty. Patty's massive. Patty was like 87 grams last time I weighed her. And she's short. She's definitely a stout gecko, but she is chunky. By all means, chunky. She's beautiful too. I can't wait for this year. This year's gonna be exciting. If all my geckos end up being normal except for the male, I'll have 100% het patternless, and half of those will be whiteout. And even if I sell a couple of those, you know, that's enough to fund my projects and all that. If some of them happen to be het patternless, which I think some of them are, any babies will still be het patternless if they're not visual, and then I'll have patternless. And then I also have the chance for patternless whiteouts, which is a 1 in 4 for any mom that's het patternless. So it's when you're taking a risk and you're betting on yourself and how you can play smart with the animals and make wise decisions, make bets you know you're gonna win. Play the odds just enough, but don't risk too much. I could have sold all my geckos and bought a nice female too. But then what if my male is infertile? What if something happens? You never know. You never know. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And case in point, I also have a lily white gecko. It's a $1,000 gecko, and it's incomplete dominant. So no matter what I breed it to, if it ends up being a male, I hope it does. If it's a female, it's a female. It's awesome as well, but males would help a lot more. Half the babies will be the lily white, and that's insane. And I know the values may go down a little bit because crested geckos are year to year, egg to egg. You know, you hatch them a year from then they're laying. The value's going to go down just because of how quick the morph will get out is throughout the year. But just a couple short months, 6-7 months, I'll be producing lily whites, and that's insane. I can't wait for that. This is just snowball effect. If you just put your money back in and you hold off for another year, and this year I'll probably take a couple $100 and use it for whatever, help me pay off my car a little sooner, whatever. I mean, car bills, am I right? That's another thing. I really want to, maybe I'll set aside 100, 200, depending on how much I make, and I don't know, put fog lights on my car, something cool, do something interesting with my car, put a couple in savings, and throw the rest back into the projects. I need to buy another gecko rack. I need to buy a hatchling rack for all the hatchlings I plan on having this year, and just it's going to be a great year. I hope everyone sticks around, and don't be afraid to check me out on Instagram, James Jeptiles, Twitter, James Jeptiles. I don't really post on Twitter because Twitter's weird. When you post on Instagram, you can link it to Facebook, Twitter, and I think Tumblr. But if you link it to Twitter, it doesn't post a picture, it posts a link of a picture. And that's kind of lame. When I'm flipping through Twitter, I'm never looking at that. So why would anyone else? You can also hit me up on Instagram at gmail.com, jamesjeptiles@gmail.com. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you can't wait to see what's going to happen. And I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go set up an enclosure for that male.